Good morning everyone and welcome to another Talent Thursday. I'm working from home today, so that's why I'm in my apartment, but I was keen to get in touch with you all and give you a couple more pieces of content that will help you with your job search and finding your next role. Today's video is all about what you can do right now to help you secure that next role. So this is aimed at people who are already in a role. If you're not already in a role, I still think that you can tweak this content to be worthwhile for you, and we will come back to that at the end of the video. So if you're in a role right now and you're starting to think about your next position, even if you're not starting to think about it, you should be. We should always be on the hunt in our mind, if you like, to think about what our next position will look like, whether it's with the same company or with a different company. And there's two really key tips I think that you can do right now and start to do in order to help you. The first is to make yourself visible to C-suite. Now, if you work in a small company, this will be probably quite easy or easier. If you work in a larger company, might be a bit more difficult, but it's all about the chain of hierarchy. So in order to be visible to C-suite, you need to be visible to the people below them first. So if you're, say, an analyst or a senior analyst, and there's maybe 4 or 5 people above you, maybe even more, you really need to impress probably your 1 up or your 2 up. And you also need to understand who it is that you're impressing and what would be in it for them and whether they would recommend their 1 up, would view whatever work you've done. So I'll give you an example. In my last role, I started a networking group called Women in Data, and I worked for a small company, so it was a little bit easier for me. I went straight to my MD and told him I had this idea. But to start with, I was a little bit shot down. I basically didn't go with a good enough business proposal. And I said, I want to do this for the community, and I think we should put these events on. It's going to cost us a little bit of money, but I think we can get sponsorship, and I think the community really needs it. And he said, in the nicest possible way, what's in it for us? So I went away, I put together a sort of brief and quite basic business plan, and then I went back to him and said, you're quite right, here's what I think we can get out of it as a business. That gave me visibility and kind of put me on the map a little bit with my career, and it put them on the map too. So for a lot of candidates and clients, they didn't know who we were until they'd heard of Women in Data. I'm not saying you have to go and build yourself a large networking event, but you see my point that I thought outside the box. I wasn't just doing recruitment or doing something that was, recruitment based. It was something a little bit different that would help my day-to-day role and the people that I work with, but it would also help the business. The second thing I think you can do is to represent their brand in some way. And that might be that you've won an award. And then what do you do with that award once you've won it? Well, it really needs to be represented on social media. You need people to know about it, but you need to do it in a humble way. How else could you represent their brand? Well, you could go and offer to be a speaker at certain meetups or networking events. You could attend networking events on behalf of your company. And that's really going to start representing their brand in a way that people say, oh, this company has really eager, good, keen people working for them. They must be a good company. And you can leverage off that for your own self-confidence and furthering your career as well. Now, if you're not in a role right now and you feel like you can't do these things because you don't have a C-suite to try and impress, well then try and impress in a different way. You might not be able to represent a company's brand, but you can build your own personal brand and you can represent you. You can go to meetups and you can start telling people in a subtle way what you do and why you're great at it. You can impress C-suite people when you go to these meetups. You can do it via social media and LinkedIn. Maybe you might want to publish an article that is just a thought piece on why you think a certain programming language is great or not so great, maybe. Those are always controversial posts are always good as well, as long as you have a good argument. So there's plenty of things that you can do in order to create visibility for yourself and to represent your own brand and your company brand. so that when the time comes when you're looking for a new role, it's not such a tricky task, and actually you've got a couple of good things that you can talk about where you've delivered real value, and you've probably generated a revenue somewhere along the way as well, at least been a part of that, and that's always a good thing to talk about. It's going to boost your confidence, and then we won't get any of those mental health kind of butterflies that we get as well when we're going for a new role, or we certainly should be able to keep them at bay because we have confidence to talk about some of the great things that we've done. So I hope that gave you a little bit of help. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments too. Please comment on the video. If you'd like more of this content, let me know. My name's Leisha Morrison. I'm the head of talent at Venntifact. Follow us on LinkedIn for more of this, and we will see you next Thursday at #TalentThursday. Bye.